Everything you're about to hear is just my assessment. It's my opinion, and not to be taken as fact.
So you made a statement in the Mount Vernon News where you said you're not going to step down because of the trust for the community. The community doesn't trust you anymore. It's gone. I don't know why you're not seeing it or hearing your community speaking out and saying, Drenda, we're begging you, please step down. What is going on in your home? That's your home. Deal with your home first, because what has happened is you brought it here. You have put Knox County on the map in a bad way. It's an embarrassment to our.
I'm sorry you feel that way, but these allegations have nothing to do with me personally.
Oh, they do, because you said that these people trust you.
I'm
They
not
don't.
being-
And also,
I'm not
you
being
also
accused of
lied
anything
about in
like that.
campaign. You said in your
Like,
campaign
I'm not
that,
being accused of anything, so
yeah,
thank you for
actually,
your comment. I'm sorry you feel that way, but I'm
Drenda, I'm
also,
not done, because you
also-
also made a promise during your campaign that you would be in this office daily. You're not.
I didn't make a promise to be your daily.
Yes, you sure did.
I'm out
You
in the
said you were not
community.
gonna be like the previous
I'm
one
out in
and
the
you would be
community.
here. No, you're not.
Yes,
No,
I am.
Drenda,
I
please stop lying.
respectfully thank you for your comment. Do
You
have a
actually
comment
can't
also?
stop me from talking, Drenda, because it's per public and I am the public. I am a member of this
You have 3
community.
minutes to make a comment.
Yeah,
You have,
I absolutely
you have
do.
35 seconds left.
Okay, Drenda, please stop. Just listen to your community. Your community is asking you to please step down because of allegations against your family, whatever. You need to deal with your home first. This is not your home. Deal with it first. There was a reason why I didn't vote for you. There was something in my gut. I think you remember me telling you, don't run because there's something I
I
don't trust
remember
about
being
you.
quite an opponent against me
Yeah.
during the whole campaign.
And I'm still an
So
opponent.
this is
and
a
you
personal
need to-
vendetta.
No, absolutely not. I'm speaking on behalf of people who asked me to come here today to say, Drenda, step down. If you read those comments on your little thing that you put in the Mount Vernon News, which you basically called your daughter a liar, which, that
No,
was for you.
I don't want to get
They
into personal
don't
things.
want,
Your
they
time
don't
is
want
up.
you here, Drenda.
Rebecca, your
They
time
don't
is up.
want you here.
Thank you. I received a lot of cards and encouragement.
Oh, that's funny, because I
Darcy,
received
you
that
have
for
a
1
comment?
second.
Comments? Would you, do you want to say something? And so you need to stand up, say your name, where you're from.
Darcy Hiley, I'm from Centerburg. I listened to Bill's statement he made last week and I see things differently. This is not a personal matter. This is a public issue. Drenda, I have known from the beginning you weren't going to do the right thing and resign or even take a leave of absence. Yet I continue to come back and ask, hoping and praying that you wake up and see what you are doing. Things that cannot be undone. You call this a smear campaign and an attack on your family from day one. You've called people jealous of you. You have said you want to uphold the trust of the voters that placed in you. My most recent favorite was, this will all be over very soon. All of which are not true and are all missing the moral big picture. Your daughter is a victim in all of this. You are placing everything above your daughter. You are placing your son, who's on trial for 27 felonies, this office, and your so-called church above your daughter. You can continue to come to this office and put on a show. We all know you don't belong here and nobody wants you here. But I did want to publicly make a statement to your daughter and all the victims out there who are victims from any member of your family, including yourself, and say that the residents of Knox County stand behind them. We support them and we value their courage and bravery. We don't care what fancy title anyone holds here. We see you, we believe you, and we have your backs. Drenda, I'm once again asking for you to please resign or take a leave of absence. You are damaging more than you have already done, and you continue to do.
So if there's no other
Motion to adjourn.
we stand adjourned. Thank you.
What you just saw were clips of two bold young ladies, one named Darcy Hiley and the other young lady I'm yet to identify. Both women courageously confronted Drenda Keesee during recent Knox County, Ohio Board of Commissioners sessions. What unfolds in the exchanges are a textbook case of spiritual arrogance, moral evasion, and an entitled leader refusing to face reality. Here is a thorough, blunt, and condemning assessment of Drenda Keesee's dismissive and out-of-touch response to legitimate community concerns based on the video of the sessions. Introduction. When cowardice hides behind a smile. What we see in Drenda Keesee's public demeanor, smiling dismissively, brushing off grave concerns with canned replies like, "Thank you for your comment," and condescendingly enforcing time limits, is not the posture of a humble public servant, pastor, or parent. It is the reaction of someone desperately clinging to power while hoping no one notices the stench of corruption and denial emanating from her family and ministry. Let's be absolutely clear. Multiple victims, including her own daughter, have alleged sexual abuse at the hands of her son, Tom Keesee Jr. And what is Drenda's posture in the face of these devastating claims? Denial, deflection, distortion, disgusting levels of apathy. 1. It's a deeply personal matter. A deflection meant to shut down accountability. Drenda's favorite strategy in both her official statements and public confrontations is to hide behind the phrase, "It's a deeply personal family matter." This is not only a deflection, it's an insult to the intelligence of every constituent and church member. The allegations involve her son abusing minors, including his sister, while being protected and platformed under her roof and pulpit. This is no longer just a family issue. It is a community crisis, a public trust violation, and a potential criminal negligence situation. Calling it personal is a way of saying, stay out of our business while we keep controlling the narrative. 2. We're being attacked. The classic persecution complex, when Drenda says things like, anyone can be accused of anything, and we're being attacked, she engages in one of the most manipulative tactics in abusive church cultures, spiritualizing accountability as persecution. This tactic minimizes the severity of the crimes, insults the intelligence of the victims, and repositions Drenda as the real victim. It's a cruel bait and switch. The people harmed, some of them children, are erased from the conversation so that Drenda can play the martyr and protect her public image. 3. I love my family. I support my children. Yet not a word of belief for the alleged victims. Drenda repeatedly states that she loves her children and is for her family, but conveniently refuses to say whether she believes her daughter, who courageously came forward about being allegedly abused by her brother. Her refusal to stand with her daughter publicly, not even once in the entire video, is damning. Silence is complicity. Her attempt to act like she's neutral while privately favoring and defending the accused is a form of gaslighting. And when the stakes are this high, child sexual abuse, familial betrayal, moral collapse, neutrality is not an option. Either you believe the victim and take action, or you enable the abuser. 4. I'm not stepping down. The arrogance of power addiction. Despite the overwhelming public calls to step down, many of them from women and constituents who once supported her, Drenda remains adamant about clinging to power. Her line, "I'm not leaving, I'm not going anywhere," should haunt every citizen of Knox County. This is not the voice of a humble public servant. This is the stubbornness of someone who idolizes their position more than they respect the pain of their community. Her refusal to resign sends a chilling message to every survivor watching. My platform matters more than your trauma. 5. Thank you for your comment. A politely packaged dismissal. Throughout the confrontation, Drenda uses robotic responses like "thank you for your comment" or "I respectfully thank you," all while maintaining a cold, smug grin. These phrases are meant to sound respectful, but are thinly veiled dismissals that betray how deeply out of touch she is with reality. This tone is a calculated form of control. It's meant to de-escalate confrontation without engaging the truth. It's the polished tone of a leader who doesn't lead, but performs. 6. The financial lies. There was no investigation. When asked about a financial investigation into her campaign, Drenda initially denies it, then backpedals and admits there was a person who was disgruntled, but that no violations were found. This is classic damage control spin. Minimize the issue, delegitimize the whistleblower, and pretend exoneration equals innocence. The public deserves clarity and transparency, not dodgy half-truths, but transparency would mean exposing what she's worked so hard to hide, a web of enabling, nepotism, and reckless governance that implicates her on both spiritual and civic levels. 7. The repetition of allegations are just allegations, a dog whistle to discredit victims. Drenda repeats a mantra. Anyone can be accused of anything. It doesn't mean it's true. Legally, yes. Morally, that's a different story. When your own daughter steps forward and says she was abused in your home by your son, the correct response is not to stand on legal technicalities. It is to respond with horror, brokenness, belief, and action. Drenda's cold detachment from these allegations, her refusal to believe or even validate her daughter publicly, is nothing short of spiritual treason. 8. This has nothing to do with my job. False. It has everything to do with it. Drenda tries to claim that what's happening in her home has nothing to do with her political or pastoral responsibilities. That's nonsense. She campaigned on faith, family integrity, and Christian leadership. Her son's alleged serial sexual abuse, including within the family, is not some distant, unrelated issue. It happened on her watch, in her house, under her leadership and spiritual authority. If she can't even confront evil in her own home, how can she possibly claim to lead a church or a county with moral clarity? 9th, her smile, a mask of narcissism. Multiple times in the session, Drenda maintained a rehearsed smile through confrontation. That's not poise, it's pathology. A mother confronted with the possible trauma of her own daughter, yet she beams as if nothing's wrong? That's not strength, that's emotional detachment bordering on delusion. 10. The real motive? Protecting the empire. Let's stop pretending this is about anything other than empire preservation. Drenda and Gary Keesee have built a religious industrial brand. Books, broadcasts, speaking tours, political influence. Stepping down means risking that entire structure collapsing under the weight of their failure. So they won't. No matter who gets hurt, no matter how many victims cry out. Because to Drenda and Gary, image is everything. The platform matters more than the people. The church is a business. The ministry is a mask. Final verdict: disqualified, disgraced, done. Drenda Keesee's responses have exposed her for what she is, a disqualified leader clinging to power at the expense of truth, accountability, and the voices of the broken. Her refusal to step down, her arrogant tone, her lies about investigations, and her betrayal of her own daughter should forever bar her from any form of public or spiritual leadership. She is not the victim. She is not the leader. She is the problem.